No family should ever have to get the tragic phone call or knock on the door. Mine came a little over 2 years ago when my sister-in-law called and said to me my brother was involved in a serious car accident. And she was on the way to the hospital, but the chief picked her up. I rushed to the hospital, and when I got there, police cars were everywhere with their lights going. When I walked into the hospital, there was a sea of police, officers shoulder to shoulder, forming a tunnel for me to walk through. I heard someone say, "Your brother did not make it." But I didn't believe it was true. When I walked into that hospital room and my brother laid there lifeless with a tube sticking out of his mouth, my whole world was crushed. I felt like the air was sucked out of my whole body. At 32 years old, my brother, Officer Jason Gresko, was too young to die because of a drunk driver that cut him off the road, responding to another officer in distress. Today, we are here to support the men and women who give it their all, day in and day out, to protect and serve. Law enforcement officers face the unknown each time they respond to a call. They run toward danger, they battle the bad guys, and help the helpless. I wish that my family would be the last police family to have to get that dreaded phone call or knock on the door. I wish I had the secret formula that I could ensure that each and every police officer makes it home to his or her family after their shift. Police officers swear to uphold the Constitution and also take seriously their responsibility to protect the First Amendment rights of the public they serve. The sad part is, though, with the recent attacks on our safety forces, it threatened to bring these two great responsibilities into conflict. When a police officer is killed in this country, it brings many bad memories back to those families that had to deal through this, and the policemen and women and the police departments that had to go through this. And the line of duty deaths are significantly up this year, with 120 police officers already that have paid the ultimate sacrifice in 2014. I have no problem with peaceful protests, but when a problem comes in is when the violence turns against our safety forces. Demonstrators in New York chanted, "What do we want? Dead cops. When do we want it now?" That was disgraceful and utter disrespect of our authority and our men and women in blue. These types of protests and chants are going on all over our nation, but today is what we need: silent, peaceful protests. Still, police officers continue with their duties, answer calls, respond to cries, fulfill their mission, and honor their commitments to the cities in which they work, often at times being spit at, kicked at, assaulted, or shot at. These men and women continue to be there when people need them. In return, we need the general public to please join them in a cooperative effort to keep our streets safe. What bugs me the most is that a lot of high-powered leaders are doing nothing to support our safety officers. Instead, they are putting them in harm's way. This must stop, and this must stop now. Too many people have to give eulogies at the funerals of many police officers, like today in New York. Most killed in the line of duty defending our citizens during a crime. When our officers go in harm's way, they need to know they have the support of their leaders at all levels of government. The President should declare a National Day of Support for our police. He should send a clear message to all criminals that he appreciates the willingness Maybe I should say that again.
Yeah.
Where was I?
Maybe
The
he didn't hear
President
you.
should declare a National Day of Support for police. He should that he appreciates the willingness of our officers living or who have made the ultimate sacrifice. And if their lives have meaning, just like all lives have a meaning. Since the first known in line of duty death in 1791, more than 20,000 U.S. law enforcement officers have made the ultimate sacrifice. President Ronald Reagan said it best when he said we must reject the idea that every time a law is broken, society is guilty rather than the lawbreaker. It is time to restore the American precept that each individual is accountable for his action. When a police officer says hands in the air or stops or gives you some commands, just as like Bob France said, listen to them and obey their commands and there will be no problems. I'm tired of the signs, posters, and shirts that say, I can't breathe. Because there are over 20,000 families out there who have a loved one killed in the line of duty who can't breathe anymore. Because of the senselessness of someone committing a crime. Enough is enough of these villains in our country who are just killing our police officers just because they're police. Does anyone see a problem with this? It is time for stronger laws for these animals, and time must be now. To end, I think this poem says it all. Someone killed a policeman today, and a part of America died. A piece of our country he swore to protect will be buried with him at his side. The suspect that shot him will stand up in court with counsel demanding his rights, while a young widowed mother must work for her kids and spend many long, lonely nights. The beat that he walked was a battlefield too, just as if he'd gone to war too. Though the flag of our nation won't fly at half-mast, to his name they will add a gold star. Yes, someone killed a policeman today, in your town or mine. While we slept in comfort behind our locked doors, a cop put his life on the line. Now his ghost walks a beat on a dark city street, and he stands at each new rookie's side. He answered the call of himself, gave his all, and a part of America died. I just hope that the citizens in this city and around the country take the time this holiday season as a time to reflect and pray for one another and search for solutions as the law enforcement community honors those who have fallen in line of duty, and that no more parts of America has to die, and no other police family has to get that dreaded phone call or knock at their door. May God continue to walk with our safety forces, protecting them every moment. And I salute each and every one of you.
Hello. I'd like to thank every one of you today for coming out to show your support in the Sea of Blue. I'd like to thank Mary Jo and everyone who was possible for putting this incredible, amazing event together. My name is Tiffany. I'm here today to speak on behalf of Officer Justin Weinbrenner. I almost had the privilege of becoming a Weinbrenner myself. I was his fiance. Justin was a strong, a brave, and an honorable police officer in Akron, Ohio, and served for 7 years. His end of watch came on November the 16th of this year, 2014. And I was next to him. And he saved my life, among many others, on that dreadful night. And this tragic event, I've been overcome with many, many emotions. I feel guilt towards his family that I could not have done more to protect their son, a brother, nephew, and a little girl's father. I feel grief for his former partners and police officers that they no longer have him to ride alongside and keep them safe at night. I feel anger for the man who robbed his daughter of having him walk her down the aisle on her wedding day one day. I feel sadness that I will not see his face at the end of the aisle on our wedding day in June. I feel fear many, many nights. I am afraid. But I shall fear no evil, for he is with me. Today, I feel a different emotion. And today, I feel proud. I am proud to be here and walk amongst his brothers, sisters, friends, and all supporters in this sea of blue. It is truly an amazing experience today, and I am blessed to be a part of it. To the families of the recently fallen officers across our nations, my heart goes out to each and every one of you. And I pray every night that all of us may be able to find peace sooner rather than later. And I pray for justice, and I pray that this prevails. So many have fallen, but will never be forgotten. Rest in peace to all of our fallen, and may God bless us all. I love you, Justin.
Okay, one more time, Pastor Kavoris is going to end with us. And again, thank you to everybody that was here today. Let peace begin here.
Many wonderful things have been said here today. There are not too many more to say. Peace began with an idea with Mary Jo, but now she transfers it all to us, and peace begins here with us. I would now ask all who so desire to join me in praying the Lord's Prayer, after which the pipers will play. When they have concluded, Megan and Mary Jo ask that we leave in silence and continued honor of our fallen. And let us especially remember the last two petitions of this prayer: lead us not into temptation, and deliver us from evil. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses,
as we forgive those who trespass against us.
and lead us not into temptation,
But deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom,